Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of the Rambling Film Group podcast. We are here early on Friday morning to do a little trailer special because, arguably one of the most anticipated trailers ever probably has dropped. So we wanted to go ahead and take the time, make sure as soon as we could jump on and talk about it. Before we get to that, I want to make sure we introduce ourselves in case you're joining us for the first time. My name is Charles. Right beside me, I have my wife, Kelsey, and she's currently petting our dog in her lap. And then remote, but always with us, we have Sai.
Hey, everybody.
So, I think after that, we're probably going to jump right into it. Do we want to talk about it all first, or do we just watch it and then talk?
Yeah, I feel like let's just go ahead, watch it, let everybody, see what it is if they haven't already seen it, and then we can just kind of jump right in and give our analysis and what we're looking forward to.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so give me just 1 second. I'll go ahead and share my page, share my screen, and then we'll get it popping.
Popping.
I've been awake for like 2 hours, so like I'm wide awake right now. This isn't normal for me at all. I don't even know how to act. All right, so you guys can see your stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
My hair is something else.
Stay on. Hey, Miss Potts. If you find this recording, don't feel bad about this. Part of the journey is the end. Just for the record, being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds. Food and water ran out 4 days ago. Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning. That'll be it. When I drift off, I will dream about you. It's always you.
Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. He wiped out 50% of all living creatures.
We lost. All of us. We lost friends. We lost family. We lost a part of ourselves. This is the fight of our lives.
This is going to work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang. We met a few years ago at the airport in Germany. Got really big.
Is this an old message?
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
It's the front door.
That's me. Can you buzz me in?
Well, all right, there we go. Yeah, do you guys mind if I start off?
No,
yeah, that's
do it.
No problem here. Yeah.
I was talking to somebody after I posted it on Facebook, and they had mentioned that they liked it, and I have to admit, I love the tone that they're giving off just right off the bat, especially because they're not giving us too much action right away, which I'm perfectly okay with. Like, I really don't want to see much of that going into it. But just the tone in Tony's voice, in Cap's voice, the music that they decided to put in the trailer, it gives a very serious kind of just feeling to it, and that it does feel like it's the end of this 10-year journey that we've kind of been on since the original Iron Man movie. And then the title Endgame, again, just kind of fits into that as well. I will say the only negative I have, and this is just kind of Marvel movies and in general, I don't like the kind of joking nature of like the Ant-Man in the end. Like it just didn't fit with like how the first two, basically 2 minutes and 15 seconds of it went. And then you get that last 10 seconds where it's a little, it doesn't take itself too seriously. So obviously I don't mind seeing Ant-Man in it. And I do get that he's has more of a joking personality, but just understanding what everybody's going through during that time, he's lost the love of his life and his family and friends. So you would think that he wouldn't be he would be a little bit more serious, or come across a little bit more serious. So that's really the only negative I have. But overall, this is a fantastic first trailer.
Yeah. I just was gonna say, I'm not gonna start with this, but I just can't help but think it. I'm betting basically directly after that scene when he does come up, there'll still probably be some heroes interaction, but pretty quick, I'm pretty sure he's gonna bear just how he lost everyone too. I still actually haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I know that the post-credit scene for that movie is the snap occurring, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. So I know he loses everything too, and I'm pretty sure that pretty quickly the somberness will flow back into it. I think that's probably there just to kind of give a little bit of reassurance to people, don't worry, it won't be overbearing and everything with how down and depressing it will be. But I think for sure this has to be the most somber effort out of the whole universe. It won't be fitting if that's not the case. It just won't make sense.
Right.
If there's even as much joking as there was in Infinity War, because they hadn't taken an L before. So they just they're still gonna be themselves as a part of this because they have that justifiable confidence that they're gonna be successful at the end of the day. So I think the tone will work out. But overall, as the trailer is great. It's solid. It's exposition. We didn't get any sort of reveals. We didn't get any details towards what the specific plan is, and I think that's for the best at this point. The only other point I'll make is that, I kind of been talking with you guys, I feel like outside of that Ant-Man quotes or whatever at the end there, I feel like this could have been a trailer where I said if it was just the screen was just black with maybe just some kind of little effects of dust blowing in the wind and everything from the snap. If it just been that and the music had been more somber than driving, and you had basically all the same dialogue, I think it would have been just as compelling and would have worked fine. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think that would have worked just fine. I know, I mentioned to you, that they're never going to do that. Right. Of course, they're always going to give us a little bit of visual. So that was my only thing on when we were talking about is that just Disney's, they're not going to do that. But if they were to do it, yes, that's basically kind of what we got, except for we saw shots of Tony, Cap, and a couple of other characters there. But yeah, I do like what we got. I do like the fact that as of right now, not too much action or any action being shown. And even we talked about this a little bit before. We also have to remember when they did the trailers for Infinity War, there was a lot of stuff that they showed that they didn't even put in the movie, and they did it on purpose. So there's no way to really know if what we've seen in this trailer is actually going to end up in the movie.
Sure.
So my thoughts are basically the same as these guys, more along the lines of Psy. I understand why they did the stuff with Ant-Man at the end and everything, but I just don't feel like it fit tonally with the trailer, everything else up until that point. But, I mean, it just kind of shows you where everybody's at. Everybody's just beat and weathered and down. And like you said, like Endgame really fits. Like you really get the feeling that this is it. Like this is not necessarily like you get the feeling like, oh, this is the end, like the story's wrapping up, but also like this is the last like go we have. If this doesn't work, then we're done. We're done. Like that's just it. So yeah, you really feel that weightiness on everything. And then I like kind of what you guys were saying, that we didn't get too much. I don't need to see too much. I didn't need to see any trailers, in all honesty. Like my excitement is already in anticipation is so high. I could have gone this entire time without seeing anything and still be just as excited come like this April to see this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't need a whole lot of trailers. I don't want anything to be given away, and they did a really good job with that before, so that's fantastic. I'm just here for the ride, and so I'm just yeah. I don't know. That's basically it. But I mean, yeah, there wasn't really a whole bunch to this, other than you just really get a sense of just how dark and grim things are, like in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. The one thing a couple of things I was gonna add to it is, they also didn't give us any information on like who the actual bad guy is, because they've mentioned that it's not Thanos. It's supposedly going to be another even bigger baddie than Thanos, which is kind of hard to imagine at this point.
Are you sure?
What are they going to do? Take out 50% of the remaining 50%?
He's not the end. Like he's not the. I don't mean this to like put in the title, but apparently he's not the end game in Endgame.
It's been confirmed?
From the Russo brothers have said it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting, because I don't actually need there to be a physical conflict in this. Like, I thought it was just going to be more like, how the hell are we going to undo this? And then when we undo this, like, what's our plan in action of stopping Thanos?
For the final
bit. So I didn't think that Thanos was going to be the overarching, like, constant presence like he was in Infinity War. I thought it was going to be more just like, how are we going to reverse this? But that's interesting. I wonder what's...
Yeah, and like it made me wonder if if something happens where they have to, which I kind of don't want to see, but like if they have to team up with Thanos, like to kind of fix it, which is, again, I don't necessarily want to see that, but if there's a bigger problem than Thanos, like how do you resolve the Thanos issue with also giving proper time for this other being that you're going to be introducing?
Yeah.
Well, I still like, if whatever is in this movie, I have, with how they were able to tie in all the different storylines and threads and everything in that last one, and from Civil War and Winter Soldier, even before that, I have no reason to doubt the Russo brothers' capability or anything. They have made the most impressive Marvel movies to me. Well, I like other ones for sure. I love other ones even. The most impressed have been with their directorial efforts.
I didn't say that meaning that I don't think that they could like do it properly.
I wasn't taking it that you implied that either.
Yeah, it's just when you're thinking about it is more of like, okay, how quickly do they address the Thanos issue and then go on to whatever is after that? Unless, again, it's kind of the Russo brothers just kind of playing jokes with us. Because, again, they do like to leave it like to where we really don't know much going into the theater. So, who knows? But yeah, from what they've said, Thanos isn't just the end game in this movie. But, again, who knows? That might change. And then, again, we also got to remember this is going to be the Russo brothers' last Marvel movie, until, because I'd have to think Disney decides to do it, until they decide to do a Secret Wars Avengers movie, whatever it's going to be. And from them introducing Captain Marvel and the Skrulls, I would assume that at some point Secret Wars would have to be down the pipeline. So it is interesting to see what the Russo brothers do, considering this would be like they're in for at least 5 to 7 years, possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think other than that, there's really not much to talk about with the trailer.
Yeah.
I did want to ask that scene with Tony in the beginning. Do you think that's at the beginning of the movie or towards the end? Because that changes a lot depending on where that is in the movie.
For sure. I get the feeling it's towards the beginning. Me personally, I have a hard time seeing that I could see Tony dying, but like I can't see them giving him that end and like necessarily that being the way he goes out. I think if he goes out fighting, or he goes out making a sacrifice or whatever. I don't think. I feel like that wouldn't do the character justice to go out that way. So I also don't feel like we'd see a point where if it's like at the end of the movie that like just a random like saving scene, because that would make him outside of the action the whole time basically, and his story would just be like, can I survive like on my own for this stretch? And that doesn't make sense to me either. But that's just me rambling right now, like with my thoughts. But all of that's to say, I think that's from closer to the beginning.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. But just the way they show it, you could make an argument that it is at the end, and again, it does vastly change the how I would feel about the movie if it's at the beginning or at the end.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's. Does anybody else have anything else to add?
Nope.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. I know Chuck, you did the intro. I know I've been talking a lot though. So do you want to do the outro, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I can still do it.
All right, all you, man.
All right, that wraps up our conversation over this first, almost said Infinity War, but this first in-game trailer. Hope you guys enjoyed our thoughts and insights and everything. If you watched or listened to whatever, feel free to drop your ideas, suggestions, theories, and whatnot in the comments. Make sure you're following us on social media, whether that be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and let us know what you thought about the trailer and what you thought about our thoughts. Until next time, I'm Charles, it's Kelsey, and
Bye, guys.
Sai with us.
Bye, everybody.
You guys enjoy your weekend.
All right. So I'm gonna end the recording now, just so like when I go to render it, it doesn't take as long.
Okay.